Hello and welcome to week 3 of our openSAP course Cloud Application Studio for SAP Business by Design. My name is Babulal Limba and I am a Senior Development Specialist with SAP Business by Design development team. I hope you are enjoying the course as I am so far and have done the assignments to confirm your understanding. I shall be your instructor for the week 3 and 4 of this course. In week 3, I will talk about the business configuration and the extensibility aspects of Cloud Application Studio. So, let us get started with week 3 unit 1 business configuration overview. In this unit, I will provide you an overview of BC in Business by Design and later will show you how can we start with creating business configuration content in Cloud Application Studio. Moving to the next slide, business configuration in Business by Design. One of the key features of Business by Design is business configuration, which helps the solution to be configured as per the customer's need. Customers can choose what functions they want to use from a vast catalog known as Business Adaptation Catalog, in short BAC, which is built in Business by Design. Additionally, customers can fine tune the functions to align with their business needs through business configuration activities. It also allows you to adapt and improve your solution at any time as your need changes. As I mentioned, the full set of features and functions are outlined in the central Business Adaptation Catalog. The catalog organizes and structures the capabilities into a hierarchy of business areas, packages, topics and options. You can choose the options you want and scope them as part of your solution. The business configuration content related to the options you choose are automatically deployed and available for the users to fine tune. Let us take an example and jump into the Business by Design system. So, here I have opened a business configuration catalog for you. Here I would like to show in the questions step, you will see the list of entries here. These are my business areas. So, I have multiple areas: sales, service, sourcing, purchasing. If I expand my business area, I will go into the packages. Let us choose the package business purchase request and order management. In this, I will see multiple business topics. In the topic, when I click on it, I will see the business options on my right hand side. Here you can see there are multiple business options available, which are basically the questions that the business user should answer to decide how the solution should work. Basically, you can also see that the options here are scoped under the groups. So, one group you can put multiple business options which are similar in nature. They can be categorized into one group. So, when you select a business option, you can always read the documentation related to business option in the overview and the relevance tab, which is highlighted below. This is important for you to understand what this business option means, and then based on that you can take a decision and decide what do you want to scope in the system. Okay, back to the presentation. The catalog has built-in rules to ensure that all selections you make are logical and consistent. With the first implementation BC project, you do the following things. Scoping, basically selecting the set of packages and topics and answering the options within them to prepare the system as per their requirement. In this step, customer makes a series of decisions for their business setup. The next would be the activity list. Based on your scoping decisions that you have taken, the system generates a list of activity which might be mandatory for implementation and project management activities. You need to complete them before your solution can go live for the first time. You can review your scoping decisions even after the activity list is generated, and if necessary can make the necessary adjustments. The focus for this unit is scoping part of business configuration, and the activity list will be covered in the next unit. Every solution must provide a business configuration content, mandatorily a business option, which allows to scope in the add-on in the solution in target tenant, which could be test or productive. Please note that if you do not have a BAC element, you cannot assemble the add-on solution. Let me show you various entities in Cloud Application Studio under the umbrella of business configuration. So, I am in Cloud Application Studio shortly, and here you can see there are multiple type of business configuration content that exist. I can tell you to start with, the first is the BAC element. The BAC element is mandatory. You can have one BAC element in add-on. All BC options or topics must be defined in BAC file. It has an extension .bac We will talk about this in detail in this unit. The next is the implementation project template. This entity is only available for business by design. This creates a fine tuning project template in the solution, just like first implementation project, where you can package together the options and activities. Well, fine tuning project templates provides sample content for the specific scenario that is defined by SAP. For example, financial chart of account. This is not in the focus for this openSAP course right now. The next would be the text decision tree. You can create a text decision tree to automatically determine the text event for a country that does not have a SAP country version in business by design. This entity is available again for only business by design. This shall be covered later in the localization unit for this course. Next, you see business configuration object, business configuration set and business configuration view. So, they help to provide pre-delivered business configuration content and a fine tuning activity to the end user. I will cover these entities in the next unit. So, let us move on to the demo now and see how exactly we can create a business option in the add-on. Recall our user story. We will make the add-on for internal job search available to the business users through a business topic and an option. Key users can scope in this option to start using the internal job search add-on solution. Let us jump into the system. So, here I have my add-on opened, and this is the Cloud Application Studio where I can see my add-on. I have all the business objects necessary opened here. Right click on the solution, say add, click on new item, and a pop-up window opens where you can select what items you want to create. Go to business configuration and then BAC element, give an appropriate name. I will say job search and .bac and add it. So, it will open a wizard file for me, and then I can see there are 3 options on the top. One is business option, which means that you can only create a business option in this add-on. Second would be business topic and business option, which means you can create a topic and multiple options under it. And there is country and business options, which means you can create a country version as well. So, this is not covered here. We will go with business topic and business option. Let us give it a name, job search, some description for this BAC element. I will call it job search application, and as I mentioned, there would be some documentation required. So, the overview and the relevance tab should have some documentation. So, job search application helps you search for the internal jobs. So, the same I will put it in relevance. You can put your own documentation, whatever you want. So, next important thing is the anchor. So, anchor is the place where will you put this business topic in the BAC, business adaptation catalog. So, here is the catalog in front of me. I select human resource, personal administration as my anchor and move on to the next step in the wizard. Now, you can see the content of my solution. Basically, I have 3 business objects in the solution, and on the right hand side you can see the business topic. Now, I create a business option. I call it internal. Okay, that was a mistake. I think I put a space, internal job, then give some description for it. So, this is the business option that we are creating under a business topic. Whether it will be visible in scoping or not, I say yes, it has to be visible in scoping in the BAC element. In the BAC I should see this, and visible in fine tuning I will cover it later in the next unit. Right now we will focus on the visible in scoping part. So, once it is visible in scoping, you will have to specify some scoping parameters below. We will come to that. Provide an documentation again for the business option as well, like we provided for business topic. Internal job search application, the same I would copy in the relevance and move on to scoping. Yeah. So, scoping, if it is mandatory, then your add-on is by default this is scoped in the system, and if not, then you can provide a scoping question. If it is not mandatory, then I provide a scoping question. For example, do you want to use internal job search application, which means I will have to go and scope it and check this question manually. Okay, for anchor for this question would be the business topic, which I just created below. So, you can see I have put it header element of the solution in the anchor business option below. With this, I think we are okay with this and move next. So, click on OK. Now, we have the option created, and I would now assign the content to my business option. So, which means that once my content is assigned to business option and I scope this business option, the content will be available on the UI. Yeah, so click on next and then you can review all the things that you have done, everything is okay, click finish, otherwise you can go back and review these things and come back here and finish the activity. So, with as soon as you finish, it basically creates a .bac file for you, which is called job search, which is an inactive status. You can see the red bubble and right click, say activate, and it start activating. Yeah, you see the item is activated successfully. Now we go to the UI and see, test whether we have done everything right. So edit your business project, which is the first implementation project, and we will now show up this business option in the scoping and scope that question. So we will have to go to step 3. Until then we do not do anything. So in step 3 you would see that open the human resources, person administration, this is what we selected. You will see an business topic, job search application. I scope it now because I have to do it manually, I did not set it mandatory. Then move on to the next. Okay, meanwhile you can also see the overview and the relevance parameters that you maintained in the add-on available here. Move on to the next step, the question part. Now we will see the business option under this topic. So you remember our question, do you want to use internal job search application? That should be visible here, and once it is visible we will say yes, I want to use it. Let us go to personal administration and my business topic, job search application. On the right, as I mentioned, you see the business option. So do you want to use internal job search application? Below you can see the overview and relevance documentation that you maintain for your add-on. Yes, it is in scope. Now I say yes, I want to use it, click next, and now we are done. We are now to the review phase where you can review the decisions, everything is final, click on finish, we go ahead, and now the BC workspace is getting deployed in the background. Once it is deployed successfully, we will move to the confirmation step. Here we go, confirmation, and we are done. So with this, the configuration is now done. Let's now log off and log in so that the changes comes into the effect into the business by design system. So let me log in now. I log in as a key user. I have key user limba_admin. Okay, so now you can see once you log in the application user management, business users, you go to the business user to whom you want to assign those works, the work center associated with the business object, select, edit the access rights of a business user, and we will see whether those work centers for the business objects appear here or not. So let me find it, job star, and I can see job profile, job listing, job applications, all of my add-on work centers are there. I can now select and say yes, I want to assign these work centers to the user. So all of them I have now start to assign here. You have to assign one by one. Takes a bit of time. Then once you assign, click on save, of course, and then check, make sure it is consistent. Now you can close it, and let's log off and log in again, and so that the work centers assigned are reflected next time in the login for this user, and we should be able to see now the work center and the views for this particular business user. Okay, let me enter the password, login. Okay, so it would come towards the end. Yeah, so at the end you can see I have job profile, job listing, and job profile view. That is the demonstration of how to create a business option and scope it in the system, and this is how you can assign the work center views then to the users. They are available for use. Let us talk about the key learnings. We learned how the bark looks like and what are the various artifacts in it. what are the different BC contents provided by Cloud Application Studio and what they are used for, how to create a business option and topic and bind it to an anchor provided by the byd. At the end, we use the back option to activate the add-on in customer tenant so that the testing or productive usage of add-on can start. I hope you got a fair idea of business options and topics. Please try the scenario with the hands-on exercise for this unit. I shall see you in the next unit where we will talk about business configuration in deep dive. Till then, bye and have a great day. Thank you.